Hi guys, my name's Sam and today we're going to take a look at installing a fan and heatsink into your new NESPi case. Now we've only just got these in, they're from a brand called Retroflag and they're one of the best cases I've seen to put a Raspberry Pi in running an emulator, so traditionally RetroPie, and it sits on your, on your TV unit, your entertainment unit, your bedroom, and looks really nice. It's really compact, but you do want to give your Pi a little bit of extra cooling when it's running emulators, otherwise it can start getting a little bit hot. So what we're going to do is take a look at the best way to do this, the fan and the heatsink that I would recommend, and how to install them, because there are a few tricks. So the first thing we're going to do is install the fan. Now you will need a few tools for this. I've got a Phillips head screwdriver. I've already got the screws off the case, but if you've already got it screwed in, you'll need that to take the screws out. I've got a very fine flathead screwdriver here. See that? Very fine. We're going to be using that for dismantling some of the header connections, and I've just got a pair of needle nose pliers, which are always handy. So take your fan out of the case. I've put a link in the tutorial for the fan I would recommend, so check that out there, and the heatsink as well. And I've recommended this one very specifically for two reasons. First of all, you'll notice when the fan clips in, it's actually got some clips, and this is the perfect height for it. Any less, and you're going to have to screw it in, which can be a bit fiddly if you don't have the exact right screws anymore, and it's not going to fit. And also, it has standard female header connector, which has the correct crimp pins that we need. So taking a look at the case, if you've already got it powered on, you'll know this. This isn't a case run through, by the way. We'll actually get more of a hands-on, in-depth look at the case itself. So that's another tutorial, so check that one out. But it's powered by the GPIO pins, micro USB connector goes through here, and this goes onto the GPIO pins here, and it's a 2x5 header. Now what this means is, that's actually where the ground and the 5-volt pins are. And we want to power this fan off the 5-volt pins. So down here, I've got a pin out showing where the 5-volt pins are. Now there's two. The power takes up one, which leaves us one left. Unfortunately, 2x5 header, we've got one free ground pin and one free 5-volt pin, which is good. So we could of course take that, dismantle this header, make it a 2x1 header, but it's actually a bit nicer to keep that as is. And we're going to take this header apart, and you can do this by lifting up the plastic tabs. You can see that there. Some little plastic tabs. I've got a better picture of it here. And you just lift those up. Be careful not to snap them. They are quite delicate. So push your wires all the way forwards. And this is where it just requires a steady hand. Lift them up because there's a little metal tab that locks those in, so you can't pull the wires out. So lift both of those up, like so, and your wires will just come free. And that is what we want. You've got an empty female head, you can keep that, reuse them. If you haven't snapped the pins, then yeah, you can reuse them. Now we're going to take this header here. Now I've got a picture of where they need to go. So you can see that the 5-volt, the red wire on the fan, goes in this corner. I'll rotate around that way so it's matching for you, that top left corner. This is really important you get the polarity right. Unlike a standard, brushed motor fan, you can't actually just reverse the polarity to reverse the direction because it's got a little onboard PCB controller under there. So get this in, and you want to see there's a side where you've got the crimp connector and then there's a flat side. Well, the side that actually has the crimping done on it has a little metal tab, and you want to make that tab facing outwards to the exposed hole, the same one that we used to pry the pin off. Now, as I said, the 5 volts is going in this top left-hand corner. So slide that in, make sure that pin's sort of pressed down and you'll hear it click. Yeah, so you can't really hear it, in fact, unless you're right up close to it, but you can definitely feel it. And then the black one is going to go in the opposite corner. You can see just in there on that ground pin. Whether this was intentional design, I like to think so, or a happy coincidence. It does make it really easy to install a fan, so pretty sure they would have, there's no other reason to use a 2x5 header, so that works. All right, so now our fan is attached to the Pi. So what we want to do is grab a power supply. It's got a micro USB power supply here. It plugs into the back. It's got a port in here. I haven't screwed the Pi in or anything. You don't need to do that yet. The Pi just sort of slots in. Bit of an arc, get those cables out of the way. Pi just sits in the case like so. Plug this in, and power switch on. See a red light come on. All right. Now, so case is powered up. Let's plug our header in. Power it up, and you'll see our fan turns on. Fantastic. So now you want to check the direction of the airflow. So if you put your hand against it, you can feel a slight breeze blowing out. And one side doesn't have anything because it's drawing the air in. So that means we want this to be an exhaust fan. We want it to draw air through the case and act as an exhaust. So it's pushing the hot air out of the case, which is what we want, and drawing the cool air over the rest of the board and the heatsink. So that sticker side is going to be on the flat side of the top of the case. So go ahead, power that down. I don't have an SD card connected here, so you don't have to worry about gracefully shutting down and disconnecting power for the Pi. We'll go into that in a tutorial, but again, that's a separate video, so check that one out. Now, to clip the fan in, all we want to do is case orients that way. So, as I said, you've got these two clips here. Now, there's a special side that makes it easy to clip in. There's actually a bit of a flat side on the case, and you want to put that on the that outer clip. Now, this is where it's a little bit tricky. Slide the fan in all the way, and then push it down. So we've got one clip in already. And this one, you can see, I'll bring it out here a bit more. All right, so what you want to do is sort of push the edge of the fan over the clip like that, and you can see it's now clipped in. There's no wiggle room, and that's going to mount really securely, which is what we want. Those guys put in there for the moment. That is just going to sit on top of our case. And that's the fan all assembled. You can see it's actually designed so it sits just to the side of the main SoC, which does all the cooling, which is exactly what we're after. And there's enough wiggle room in the cables here that you can lie the top to the side, which I like. Now the next bit is the heatsink. So I've just got a standard copper heatsink, and I've done some videos where I'm using a much bigger heatsink in overclocking and stress testing and things like that. The truth is you don't actually need a heatsink that big. It's great if you want to really push your Pi to the limits, but you really don't need it. This copper guy is going to cover pretty much all the surface area of that SoC. Also comes with some thermal tape, which is ideal. So you want to give that main SoC a bit of a wipe down so it's clean and free from oil and residue. I've already done that. Some isopropyl works really well. If not, just a wet cloth at a pinch will be better than nothing. You can use thermal paste on this heatsink. It does give a bit better thermal properties, but you know, the thermal tape I think does the job. It's not a precision requirement that we need. So it's got some black tape there, and that goes to the SoC. This one's only slightly rectangular, so it doesn't really matter which direction you orient it, as long as it's more or less on the middle of the SoC. Push it down, don't push too hard, but make sure it's making nice contact. And that's all done. That is the fan installed and the heatsink. Make sure your wires aren't crimped there. And you can see that when you install it, make sure you just push those wires out of the way so they don't get caught in the fan. So when you install it, they fold over to the side there. Can you see that? Yeah. And there we go. Now you can screw those in. I actually didn't need to use the pliers because those headers I was using for the fan are so easy. There are a couple of other, I think we've got 2 other 30mm fans on our site. One comes with a different type of connector, which still has crimp connectors that are compatible at a pinch. They're not quite the same one. You can push them in and they do click and they are solid, but you've got to be a bit more careful not to damage the wire because they're a bit more forced to insert them. The other one, the JST connector, those crimp connectors aren't compatible with these headers, so you will need to get just standard 0.1mm female crimp connectors and crimp them on yourself. You may need to extend the wires if you do so, but just get this fan. It's so easy to install that way. And that's all there is to it, guys. That is installing a fan and heatsink in your NESPi case by Retroflag. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments down below and we can chat from there. Cheers.